I think that if you look hard enough at free will, it disappears. That's kind of a Sam Harris-ism, but like,
that is interesting.
Because if you go, okay, so like who is the person who is responsible for the choices that I make? Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, well, me, I am an agent in my own actions. I have the agency to make these choices. But once you concede that, like, well, your choices are causal. Like if you go, oh, I'm going to put my hand on the hot stove. Like, ow, that hurt. So then you can make the choice of putting your hand back on the stove.
Right.
But you won't.
Right. You make a Facebook post about that. Like, you touch your hand on the stove. You realize it's hot. Do you put your hand back on?
Yeah.
Like, comment yes or no, or why not.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. There's like crying, laughing emojis all over it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. I don't use emojis. Like I've held out this long. I don't use emojis. I still use like colon parentheses.
Right.
But no, if you like, if someone goes, oh yeah, I definitely have free will, but who's making the choice really?
Right.
Because, and it's not necessarily like determinism either.
Right.
It's not like you're destined to make these choices or something, because at some point it's really just that's what was going to happen anyways.
Right.
Do you like time travel? There's like two views on time travel.
Right.
So like, sorry to make this conversation so one-sided now.
I do have thoughts about time travel, so I am interested.
Right.
Yeah.
So I relate this to time travel, and I have this whole like sample rate episode that I'm thinking of, but that'll come later.
Right.
But I'll probably be repeating myself anyway. So there's two kinds of time travel, and I use popular media to explain it.
Right.
So there's fourth dimensional time travel and fifth dimensional time travel. So now I have to explain dimensions.
This is Santiago deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. So we live in the third dimension, which includes like length, width, and depth.
Right.
Because if you think like 2D, it's flat, so you have length and width.
Right.
So in the third dimension, you add depth, and that's how we have like in and out versus just up, down, left, and right.
Otherwise, we're just all Flash cartoons on a 2D plane.
Yeah, exactly. But then there's the fourth dimension. So if you think about in the second dimension, a third dimensional thing going through the second dimension only goes through that one plane. Right. So like a ball going through the second dimension would start out as a dot, turn into a small circle, grow, and then like shrink again, turn into a dot again, and disappear.
Right.
Because that's each point in a plane of the second dimension, like an MRI or something.
Right.
You only see like one part of the brain or something at a time. So then with the third dimension, the thing that we're only experiencing one point at a time is time.
Right.
We can only ever experience time at once, rather than all of time constantly.
Right. Which,
so,
let me tell you, what a drag. What a drag that would be.
Well, I don't know. It would kind of suck to, like, see your own death just, like, always there.
Sure. Yeah. But also, like, the first time you ever got rejected by a girl and stuff like that would all be present all at the same time. Every good and bad is all one thing together. I'm mostly, riffing, but still.
Right.
Or Griffin.
Yeah.
Yes. That was bad. Cut that.
No, please.
Cut that out.
I love puns. So, in fact, in the last one where we were talking about like playing guitar and stuff, It's like, do you get a lot of like G riffs?
It's
like
a good
riffs on G.
It's a good one.
It's your name, so
I had people ask. It's like they were like, "What's your favorite key to play in?" And then like before I'd answer, they'd be like, "Is it G?" They're like, no.
I mean, G's good. I think E is
I love
the
playing
easiest.
The
easiest. That was a pun as well.
Right.
So, yeah.
Like C sharp minor, where it's also where the 1 is E. Mm-hmm. I use that all the time. Like without thinking about it, that's about like where I place my hands on the fretboard every time I try.
Well, you got all the open. You got like
exactly.
It just fits nice.
And if my guitar is an open D, I mean like it's in D, but I still think about it in terms of like playing it like it was an E almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Short guitar tangent.
Yeah.
But in the fifth dimension,
right?
Every potential outcome is also omnipresent. Mm-hmm. So, like thinking of multiverse theory, there's like one layer of multiverse theory that's like every single option that you could have done is an alternate universe. So there's an alternate universe where I got up and slapped you in the face.
Right. Which point being, it would have made a much more satisfying podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know, but
like a Jerry Springer podcast is what I was imagining coming in here today.
But I don't want to do that.
Right,
so
right.
And in fact, I've mentioned this before, but there's an infinite number of those universes.
Right.
In fact, there are infinities that are larger than other infinities.
Right. Right. Totally. Following. Yeah.
The amount of times that you can divide an inch into like smaller subdivisions, that's one infinity. But the amount of times that you can divide a foot into smaller subdivisions is a greater infinity than that of the inch subdivisions.
Right. Cue the
or centimeters and meters if you're European or
right.
literally anywhere else in the planet, not the United States.
Someone in Europe is like, what is he talking about?
So if the fifth dimension is showing every single possible timeline outcome and the fourth dimension is just this one timeline outcome, Back to the Future is fifth dimensional, and Prisoner of Azkaban is fourth dimensional.
I love both of those movies.
Okay, good, because it makes driving this whole point much clearer.
I do see. Yeah, I do. I do see it from like the way how.
Those
were good ones.
Which one should I do first? Fourth dimension or fifth dimension?
And I can quote Back to the Future more. So
okay.
So that one.
Okay. Well. So, in Back to the Future, they're kind of relying on this fifth dimensional perspective because whenever they go back in time or back to the future,
right?
Thanks, John Mulaney, for.
But
anyways, whenever they go back in time, it's with the intent of changing something in the past to make sure that it does or doesn't happen.
Right. Your sister disappears.
Yeah, exactly.
Why does that picture have a place for her if she's disappearing from existence?
But that's what makes it a fifth dimensional approach.
Right, exactly. I'm following.
Because you can go and change choices and stuff, and the stuff that you do back in time actually alters the things.
Right.
And so there's basically Back to the Future isn't necessarily time traveling. It's really just interdimensional jumping.
Right.
So you're just jumping into the dimension where into the dimension where you jumped into.
Right.
That's that universe.
Right.
And the universe that you just left behind, like that's still going. It's just going without you.
Right.
So I mean, what you really did is just abandoned them to their own, like that Rick and Morty episode. You just left the Cronenberg universe there.
Yeah. And it kept going as its own Cronenberg. And in the same way, there's a universe in which that Cronenberg Rick and Morty change the whole world normal, and they have to get back to the Cronenberg.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. I can totally follow that.
So fifth dimensional time traveling is really just interdimensional jumping.
Right.
But he just jumped into the dimension where he almost had sex with his mom.
Right. Can you imagine the dimension where it happens?
Yeah. Oh, that's just a Futurama episode.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Man, the science fiction has already been covered.
Oh yeah.
If you're like, what if this happened? They're like, there's already
we got it.
There's already one.
And Black Mirror is just like finding those last gaps.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, we got this one.
Right.
And now we got that one.
Hey guys, check it out.
Hey, you know that Star Trek alternate universe that hasn't been done yet? We got it.
Guys,
like,
check it out.
Star Trek's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
We were gonna do that, but we realized it was too dark.
Yeah. This is no joke. I have a signed picture of Patrick Stewart.
Oh,
that is sealed or laminated, and it is in my dresser drawer, and it was a gift from a neighbor that had that we were talking about Star Trek, and the man is a school teacher, and he on his left shoulder has the old school Star Trek badge, and on the right shoulder is the new generation badge.
Nice.
And like so I was saying Picard is a far better captain, or a far better character in general. But all my point was that I was like, not only does more dynamic change happen with Picard, but you also but he's just better at his damn job. Like what do you have to do to get Kirk to stop sleeping with everybody?
I don't know enough about Star Trek. I haven't watched Star Trek.
Certainly
but I know,
not the older one.
I know enough to like cover my nerd bases.
Right.
Like I have nerd cred.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have to know enough about Star Trek to be like, I know who Picard is.
Yeah.
I know who Kirk is. I know who. So like.
The kind of like breaking ground levels is whenever like you try to explain like Data or like Borg to somebody, where it's like they're like I have no idea who you're talking about.
I love the Borg though.
Yeah, the Borg is
the idea of the Borg
is so good. It's so good.
I'm gonna put a flag there.
Right. That's what we're
going.
getting.
We're going back to the Borg.
Yeah.
But anyways, fourth dimensional time travel.
Right.
Is where it doesn't matter what you do in the past or in the future. That is exactly what was going to happen.
Right.
So in Prisoner of Azkaban,
right,
which is really interesting for J.K. Rowling in a fantasy novel to put like really solid fourth dimensional like science fiction accurate time travel in
a magic movie.
Yeah.
You could have done anything.
Yeah. And so, they go through this terrible day. They find out that their best friend teacher is a werewolf, and the guy that's been trying to kill you hasn't been trying to kill you, and your rat is a traitor, and all that mess.
They should have called like the first half of the book Harry Potter's No Good, Very Bad Day, and the last one Prisoner of Azkaban.
Because then they get to the end of that day, and then they wake up later, and they're like, oh gosh, we have to fix all the things. And Hermione is like, hey, I can fix all the things.
Hey.
Yeah.
I have this thing.
Hey, remember all those times that there were gaps in the thing? Here's where I am filling those plot holes. Except, real quick, I will say that there's a massive gaping plot hole in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, there it is. That's the discussion we were looking to have.
Yeah. So, and both in the book and in the movie, it doesn't matter.
Right. That's always the argument that people have with me.
But whenever they were in the Shrieking Shack, and they had this like giant monologue, like both Sirius and Lupin talking about like, hey, here's our childhood backstory for like, a whole chapter, and then Snape walks in and they knock him out or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But then they find out that the rat is the traitor, and they're like, so the whole plot is kind of hinging upon getting Peter Pettigrew back to the castle to make sure that he gets arrested, and like, cool, like Sirius's name is now in the clear.
Right.
But instead of like, I don't know, like doing anything in their disposal to be able to make sure that Peter Pettigrew does not get away, they just tie his hands up. Fully knowing that he can turn into a rat, and fully knowing that they have just multitudes of other spells that they can use to make sure that Peter Pettigrew does not get away. Because in the first book, Hermione used Petrificus Totalis on Neville Longbottom. Neville Longbottom, who, like,
right.
This is how passionate I am about this thing, because this is stupid.
Fight me for him.
Neville Longbottom, the most unthreatening person who decides at that moment to stand up for Gryffindor and be like, no, I can't let you go out. You've lost us enough points. Hermione goes, no, you're petrified.
Oh, yeah.
Totally petrified this harmless kid. But the guy who is going to literally bring Voldemort back, you do not petrify him. You just tie some vines on his hands or something.
Right.
And then, of course, later,
he turns into a rat.
He turns into a rat and escapes. Right. Obviously.
Yeah, you're driving home a point. You're driving home a point for me of, maybe some people just need to get off their high horse and be like, maybe it's not the perfect book.
Right, right. Prisoner of Azkaban was great.
Yeah,
but that is a giant gaping hole.
That is honestly like my favorite Harry Potter movie. Like I know we're getting on track and we'll come back. But that is like my favorite one, only because like every performance in it is good. I like the time travel aspect.
It's a really good film.
It's a really good film. Exactly. Yeah. It's worth watching just to enjoy.
Yeah.
And people would be like, "Well, you got to watch the first two first." And I would be like, "I mean, I guess
kind of.
If you didn't know what was happening,
there's enough like subplot going on that you're like, oh, Harry is a special kid."
Yeah. If you don't get who Harry Potter is, if you don't get who Harry Potter is by the first 20 minutes of the movie, you're probably going to be way off base for everything else that's happening.
But they do a good job about that. But like, there's some cool like shots in there, like going through the mirrors and windows and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. There's a Nerdwriter video that talks about how you watch Nerdwriter.
No.
Nerdwriter does like video essays on like art and film and stuff.
That's cool.
It's really. Check it out. He did a Prisoner of Azkaban one. It was really good.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah. It's a YouTube video essay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But real nerdy stuff. And since you're a film guy,
right. Right. And a nerd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But fourth dimensional time travel. So they go back in time because Hermione has a time turner. And all the things that they do, they save the hippogriff. They throw a rock at did it hit Harry? I think.
Yeah.
She throws a rock that hits Harry, and like, oh, we got to get up. They save the hippogriff, and then Harry, who earlier was like, oh, that was my dad who cast the Patronus of the stag. Like, no, it was me.
No, it was me.
Yeah, and so it's like the entire time, it's like. The timeline stayed the same.
Yeah, it was always going to happen.
They went back in time to fix things, but that's exactly what happened.
Right. It was They thought it was the actions to change, but they were No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can totally follow that.
Which corrects for time travel doubles.
Right.
Because as soon as they like walked back into the room, their double had like just disappeared.
Right.
And so it's like you only have a temporary time where there are doubles, but then they disappear because they're the ones that go back in time as well.
Right.
So, and it also causes like an aging problem. So that's the thing.
Right.
But all of this explanation to say that I think if you break it down enough, you can always reduce fifth dimensional things to fourth dimension.
Right.
At least within our world.
Sure, yeah.
Because so far, and I think it's unlikely that we'd be able to do interdimensional time travel.
Right.
So
right.
we're kind of stuck in the fourth dimension. And so if you go, it's like, oh, what would have happened if I had made this choice, 10 years ago or something? It doesn't matter. This is where you are.
Right.
And so no matter what, you're always carving out that fourth dimension.
Right. It's always where it would have happened and always would have been laid that way.
But it also doesn't mean that you don't have a choice.
Right.
The choices that you make are your choices. But that's exactly what you would have done.
Right. And as one of the only points I'm throwing in, I think in that same way it's like you can only change things or be different in the now, even if the now is laid out. Like we're saying by the previous instances of now. It's like the only in its own right, the only thing that like matters necessarily of like doing something different would be the now, rather than the past or the future, anything,
right? And that's kind of why I'm such an optimist. For one, like I have control of my life of this time, and this is the only moment that matters.
Right.
It's also why I don't have regrets.
Right. Definitely.
Because it's like, oh, that I should not have done that, or I made a crappy choice then, but I wouldn't have it any other way, but I also couldn't have it any other way.
Right.
And so there's no point in dwelling on that.
Yeah. Pretending like you can interdimensionally travel through time and then correct that mistake.
Right, exactly.
Throw a rock at yourself and then it's like, oh, that was the rock that hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then you're still four-dimensional time traveling.
Right.
Maybe you still can't have it any other way.
Right. I think if Prisoner of Azkaban wanted to break into fifth dimensional by the same respect, it would be that like, what if Hermione threw the rock just a little bit harder, and then just Harry like disappeared.
Harry just died,
and then there's no Harry next to her, like behind the other rock, and then everyone would be like, "Man, I did not expect Harry Potter to end after the third book, but man, that weird funeral they had for Harry, where they're hiding in the back and seeing their own doubles, that blew my mind." I don't know,
but also. If we're going down this path already,
right.
If Harry died in Prisoner of Azkaban, then there wouldn't have been the Triwizard Cup,
right?
At which Harry was used as a sacrifice, like his blood was used to resurrect Voldemort, and so none of the other shit would have happened.
Right. So
none of it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things.
And Harry himself was a Horcrux.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like, if only Harry had not survived. You know, like if only Voldemort had taken out Harry when he had the chance. I'm totally on that side. Santiago Ramones here today saying Harry Potter should have died.
That is not what I said, but it is an interesting thing to think about.
Right. Oh, yeah. I love doing that. I love taking concepts from like art and film and expounding upon them.
Yeah.
Some people do not leave you leg room to do that. I feel like there's a lot of like art house directors that like it's so abstract that it's really difficult to be able to jump on to like how does that work or whatever. Like there's a movie called Primer. Have you ever seen Primer?
No, I haven't.
It's about time travel.
You told me about it before.
It's about time travel. It's about two guys in their garage or their basement or something. No, they work in a science facility or something like that, and they make a time machine. And it ends up being that like it's an independent film, which makes it like why people like were really raving about it was that like it really was just made by like two guys, a sound team and a cameraman.
Nice.
And they pull off these shots of like two people being in the same shot at the same time. You know, like there's like his double is in the background of the shot that he's in or whatever. And then there ends up being multitudes, just tons and tons of them within the same universe. Like, and there's this like websites that you can go to, and people have mapped out every result of like, if he did this, then this would have happened, and this would have triggered that, and this triggered that, and everything. And yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those films where it's like, I think they were trying to paint with broad brushstrokes, not because there isn't an answer, but because they were like, like, you guys probably can figure this out better than we can.
Yeah. Which is nice. I mean, there does come a point where, as a lot of artists say, like, the art isn't yours anymore.
Yeah.
And so, except for J.K. Rowling, who will just keep going.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. Remember Dumbledore? He was gay.
Remember
cool.
Dumbledore?
Yeah. Okay, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Neville's parents? I know she said a thing about them, but I can't remember what it was.
Right.
But it's just like, let's keep it going.
It's like a dude at a party who's just like smoking weed and telling you about like his ideas that they should have implemented into the Harry Potter universe. See, what I'm saying is that Dumbledore was attracted to Harry Potter, and like that's why he felt such a connection to him and stuff. And then you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, probably not. But
because if you take like 2 seconds more after that, you're like, so are we like supposed to admire the pedophile? Or?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, but what good is that in context of the story? Like why does that make a difference? Is the thing.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot.
But even with J.K. Rowling, like, Dumbledore
was
gay. Like there's some implication that like him and Grindelwald were like possibly a thing.
Right.
But it's like that has nothing to do. Like it doesn't change anything in anything.
Right.
Of 7 books.
Right.
Which is a lot to not change.
Right. Do you think that the guy who invented Sonic the Hedgehog is going to come out and be like, actually, Sonic was pregnant one time? It was part of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. You didn't realize it, but that's what was happening that whole time. And every person on DeviantArt is like, yes, I knew it.
Yeah. But then it goes like, he miscarried.
And then everyone's like, no.
Yeah. But like, it changes nothing.
Right.
So
yeah, there's no difference.
Right.
So we're all good here.
Yeah. But the creator gets to create some buzz around the thing again. So that's neat.
I bet J.K. Rowling is just like, I mean, I guess I'll just keep writing, but how are you gonna top, Harry Potter? I bet George Lucas thinks, how do I top Star Wars? Like.
Well, yeah, but he tried.
With what?
With 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, with the Yeah.
He's like, how do I top this?
Yeah.
Well, I could explain Darth Vader some more.
Fair. Very fair. I saw a sketch from Whitest Kids You Know, and it was about a little kid meeting George Lucas and discussing episode 7, and this was like 2006 or something like that.
Geez.
And he goes, I was thinking about like, what if there was like a bigger Death Star? And I was like, oh no. It's like, that totally happens.
Oh man. Yeah. Because then, have you ever like looked into Joseph Campbell, like the monomyth and Hero of a Thousand Faces? Like, I mean, Star Wars especially. Star Wars.
Oh, the mono.
Is...
Yeah.
Oh no, we talked about it in film scoring. So yeah. So I mean, Star Wars is like the epitome of like, this is the monomyth.
Yeah.
But like, so then you look at The Force Awakens, and it's just the same thing again.
Right. Yeah.
It's great. The Force Awakens is great.
Right.
I'm also like a giant science fiction snob, and like I have to like take my science fiction brain out whenever I think of Star Wars because it's not science fiction.
Right.
But
that's a fun thing to argue with people.
Oh yeah. Well, like it's a lot easier to just concede that it's not science fiction
Right.
than try to argue the science of Star Wars.
Of course, yeah, because you gotta make up the universe's science to thereby justify the science part of the science fiction, right?
But like Tolkien doesn't have to explain like how the magic works scientifically. Like no, like
and nobody's asking Tolkien why that giant eagle didn't just fly them to Mount Doom in the first place.
Well, there's reasons behind that.
Okay.
But
okay.
It was supposed to be like a stealth mission, and like if Sauron would have seen the eagles, and the eagles are like proud beings.
Okay.
But there's a thing.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm not even like that devoted to the argument, but it's there.
Right, of course.
But Tolkien doesn't have to explain like how's the ring work? How does it make you invisible? It's like, oh well, it makes all your molecules. Like he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
There's no need for that. He kind of does. He tries to with like, oh, you want some more lore explanation? Here's a Silmarillion. Here's a Bible.
Yeah.
Of just
if you're asking the guy, if you're asking the guy whose job it was to create an entire universe in his head and then write it down into a book, like he'll probably
he did that.
He's thinking about it. Like he's thinking about those parts of it. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, with Star Wars, it's like just even the simplest things. It's like, all right, so their blasters shoot photons, which photons move at the speed of light.
Right. So
stormtroopers, like, if the lasers actually moved at the speed of light, you wouldn't see them just like move across the screen. You would just see like a line, like an actual laser.
Right.
But also, they would be much better shots.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, Han would be dead.
Right.
If you count the the altered version of the like not Han shot first, but the
yeah. Fair. Yeah. Yeah.
But
the altered version.
The neck move to dodge the.
It's like a Photoshop smear to the left or something. Yeah. What do you think about the Force? Because I had the thing where in music and film, we brought that up is that we said, okay, is Star Wars a science fiction movie? And people were going, yeah, stupid. And I was like, but
the Force.
Yeah, it was like, but think about it. Like Star Trek is like they're all basically just humans, or at least humanoid to the point where it's like they don't really have to question the whole balance of the universe, and Star Wars does. So why, like, when is that science?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if someone goes like, yeah, stupid, it's like, what about the Force? And it's like,
yeah,
it's magic. It's magic.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's people too who are like, oh, it's midichlorians because they said that in the prequels or whatever. And I was like, one, screw you for even bringing up midichlorians. That is not cool. I'm still being triggered by that. But two, it's like that doesn't really have to do with like the first, the 4, 5, and 6 though. If you think about it, like they never had that idea in their head of like it's something in your bloodstream, and only certain people can be Jedis who are born into it and stuff. It's like, and even then, that kind of is the thing too. Is that it's like, so your Jedis are bloodline.
Yeah.
We're just supporting these like giant these like bureaucratic systems run entirely around a bloodline that's been passed down like to be an instrumentality project in the galaxy or whatever.
Yeah, well, then you start getting towards like the justification of like a caste system or something, and then it gets real fucked up.
Right.
But,
gray Jedis, baby.
Oh yeah, that's some cool lore.
That's the fun.
I wish they. Hopefully someday they'll work a gray Jedi. Like they don't have to like focus on it, but it's like, oh, who's that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great Jedi. Just like give him like the Boba Fett treatment,
Right?
where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, who's that guy? Oh, he looks super cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you never really get to like see anything of anything.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, that's cool.
Oh,
cool
yeah.
looking guy.
There was, I think there's a rumor of like a Boba Fett movie.
They need to stop.
Or is it, is it like the Han Solo movie has like one of the stories of him and Boba Fett or something like that? I don't remember what it is.
They need to stop.
They need to stop. It's time to stop.
You guys want more Star Wars? We got more Star Wars. We'll give you a Han Solo movie. We'll give you a Boba Fett movie. You want a Bib Fortuna?
Yeah.
Movie, we got it. I want a
Kid Fisto movie.
you want the guy, the one Twi'lek in the universe that has armpit hair. We'll give that guy a movie.
Yeah, I do. Was it Max Rebo? I want a Max Rebo movie right now. Just a blue elephant trying to get a gig and playing music on Tatooine. I want to see that.
So, no. But going back to Star Trek, again, I don't know enough about Star Trek, but we did make that flag on the Borg.
Right, yeah.
I really like the idea of the Borg.
Right.
Because I also really like the idea of just the hive mind thing in general.
Yeah.
Like, the thing about the Borg is that, like, while they're villains, it also, you're almost kind of like, yeah, but aren't they right, though?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Because that's, there's, like, a good meme that's, like shit tier villains and then, like, god tier villains.
Yeah.
But, like, shit tier villains are just, like, villains that are, like, they're just evil just because.
Right.
But then there's, like, decent villains that, like, that maybe they want revenge or something. Then there's, like, good villains that have, like, actual good justification for, like, what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's, like, god tier villains who are, like, you actually find yourself agreeing with the villain a little bit more than the protagonist.
Right, exactly.
Like in Black Panther, you're kind of like, oh, well, almost.
I'm
almost there.
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan might have a point here.
Yeah.
And he's got sick abs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, once he got to the, like, start giving everybody, like, future guns, then it's like, Yeah. But it's like, just about there.
I feel like they had to throw that in maybe as like a rewrite at the very end.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's
like because it feels almost forced in the movie. Like I thought so in Black Panther. Like that part felt forced to make him bad. You know, because otherwise we would have just had a debacle.
Agreed with him.
Yeah, just had a debacle of like I guess he's the new Black Panther.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Which is did you ever see Inferno? The Dan Brown.
Oh no, I didn't. No.
It's not a good movie, but
I didn't even know that came out as a movie. I thought it was just a book.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, if you want a spoiler warning for Inferno, which is not a great movie,
get out
here's
now,
your
guys.
spoiler warning for Inferno. But like the whole thing is that these villains, quote unquote villains, are like, hey, the world is like getting increasingly overpopulated, and so something needs to be done before we like have, you know, riots in the streets and famine for like water wars and all that stuff.
Right.
And so they're like, so we made this pathogen that will kill 50% of the world population.
Right.
And so it's like, whoa, like you can't just kill 50% of the world population. But at the same time, none of the protagonists ever address the issue.
Right.
Like, so the villains are just like, hey, there's going to be water wars and stuff and rioting.
Yeah.
And so something needs to be done. And so we're going to, we regretfully have to kill half the world population.
At least we have answers.
Yeah. At least we have something here. But all of the protagonist's motivation was like, you can't kill half the world population.
But killing is bad.
Yeah. But they never proposed an alternative. They were never like, all right, now we have to get the UN together to propose like renewable energy stuff.
Yeah, but like, what will answer the question? And there's never that part.
Yeah, so like by the end of the movie, I was kind of like, but you're still gonna have that problem,
right? Did you ever see Kingsman?
No, I didn't.
Kingsman is like that. He gives this great speech that kind of wins you over in terms of it, but he does it through sneaky means and stuff like that. You could really argue like a lot about it, but the intention behind it is he gives this speech of when you have a disease, you get a fever because your body temperature is increasing to the point of trying to kill that disease. This is what the Earth is doing to the human race, and that is what global warming is. It is a fever meant to eradicate human beings, which is what the disease of the Earth is. So he basically proposes to take out. The thing is that what I feel like what it's saying at least is like he is saying we need to take out people who don't benefit society the way that society needs to be benefited, and what he's saying is the poor. That's what that's who he's also targeting. Who he's targeting is the people of whom he's giving free cell phones and the people of whom that he's making internet access available to literally everybody. And the way how he does it too is that thing where it sets off a frequency off their phones that makes them erratic and want to murder people with their bare hands. So they're basically just at each other's throats, killing each other. So you can see the whole thing is a metaphor of its own. The rich are making the poor kill each other through means of that kind of thing. That kind of thing. It's a great analogy. I have no idea how the second one is. I've heard it's not as good, but or Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I haven't seen Evangelion.
Okay. End of Evangelion. End of Evangelion. I mean, is probably one of my favorite films of all time. People will argue that me on the internet about this or something, but
Ghost in the Shell had an excellent ending. If we're talking about anime film endings that are really, really good.
I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell in probably 10 years. I'll be honest. It has been a long time since I saw Ghost in the Shell.
It still holds up.
Right.
It still holds up.
I mean,
the dub is terrible.
Right.
It's awful.
Don't go for dub.
But
don't go for dub. Just go for sub.
But the whole movie, still holds up.
Oh yeah.
But
End of Evangelion, is basically there's these things called Adam. There's this thing called Adam, and the Eves are these angels that are moving between the things, and there's this thing called Lilith, and it uses a whole bunch of what is that thing? That's Kabbalah. It uses a lot of Kabbalah symbolism to be able and biblical Genesis style text and stuff to and Dead Sea Scrolls information to make its plot, which is really interesting because it's Japanese, so they wouldn't be using angels and demons in the way that the Japanese see it as much as the way that the Western culture sees it. They basically the Eves are the Adams or the Eves. I don't remember what it is. It's so hard, but they're trying once they connect. They wipe out basically a third of the population on the planet because of the impact of the event at all. So the movie is the end of Evangelion, which is the third one. Technically, it's really vivid history, which I don't have to get into, but it's the second wave has already happened. So 2/3 of the population are dead on the planet by the beginning of the movie, and they have to halt the movement of the atoms moving to the Eve, which is on the North Pole. And what in dramatic irony that they're not telling the people who are fighting them is that they want the third wave to happen. They have the rich, the super powerful, and the super rich have protected themselves from the explosion, from the event happening. So they're just let it happen. All of this will be over. We will never have to worry about this, and we will rebuild society because we have the means to. Yeah. And that's the whole point of what's happening. So the thing the thing about the movie, spoiler if you haven't seen it. I'm just saying, it does not matter though.
Right.
The spoiler of the movie is that, hey, we're going to stop the events from happening. And then the characters that you love get their entrails ripped out in front of them. And the lead character finds out that his mother, her consciousness, is what has been powering the Eve that he's been fighting in the whole time. So his thing that he's been fighting in is actually his mother, and that's why they have the connection between themselves and the thing, is that they come from a line of consciousness that's...
You're getting real Japanese here.
It's getting real Japanese. So then it turns out that it's like, oh my God, my mother, who I thought was dead this whole time, has actually been this, and now she's really dead because they killed my Eve, which I'm now finding out is my mother. And then it's like, oh, that's horrible. And then it's like, and then the end of the movie is basically the main character crying and whining while all of his friends die, and he does nothing about it. And the event happens and the whole world perishes except for him and the other main character that has been throughout the film. And that main character then is basically brain dead. So the first main character has to choke them to death, so that way they don't feel pain anymore. But guess what? He's not strong enough and he can't do it physically, so she just dies of long-term exposure to nothingness of consciousness. Why did they make that movie so sad?
Damn.
That's the end of the franchise.
Damn. That's like Metal Gear levels of
of
but it's darker but we don't need to get into Metal Gear.
Right.
Because, that's... If you want meta layers,
Yeah.
Metal Gear will give you meta layers.
Just...
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Just... Lolly Lule Lo is just...
Yeah.
But the Borg.
Right.
This should be the last point, I guess, but I agree so much with the Borg because I'm also a hippie communist.
Of course.
And so I do find that do the greatest good for the greatest amount of people.
Of course.
And so it's if you all become the hive mind, if you all become the one thing, then you are all doing the greatest for each other because you are all one.
Right.
You always, people look out for number one. Sure, you could think about it in a selfish way. I don't think that human nature is selfish. But you could look at it in a selfish way and just got to look out for me or whatever. But it's really just self-preservation to an extent.
Right, definitely.
And so, but if yourself becomes literally everyone else, then it's all self-preservation. It's all we have to help each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you wouldn't just stab your hand repeatedly and just be it's fine.
Right.
But that's a part of you. You wouldn't do that.
Right.
So if all of the everyone becomes one thing, there won't be any stabbing of the hand.
Yeah. The only way of helping yourself is to help
each other.
Yeah, help each other, everyone around you at the same time.
Yeah.
Even if it's present in one mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, everyone's going to be on here there's a Rick and Morty episode about that,
Yeah.
And we're aware. We just aren't. If you don't have to needle point Rick and Morty, if you don't have to jump into everything that they do, and you realize that they're taking the premise from another idea, I feel like you can kind of get farther on the idea. You know what I'm saying? They even have a Borg hive mind in that episode, and it's Patton Oswalt, and it's awesome.
But I think that even just the concept of a hive mind, Do you play any video games?
Daniel, he will be able to tell you any video game that you're thinking of.
So Mass Effect.
I have not played Mass Effect.
In Mass Effect, there's the Geth.
Okay.
And the Geth is these cybernetic robots that this alien race made, but they have a hive mind.
Okay.
And so whenever you talk to like one of them, they just kind of refer to it as like this one,
right?
But they're all the same thing,
right? Right.
And so it's like anything that any one of them sees, all of them knows. Right. Which is really cool. Yeah. And that's something that, again, similar to the Borg. Yeah. Is like, I don't know. I think that this is getting real highfalutin.
Oh, yeah.
But the evolution of life is to become one.
Right. Right. Definite highfalutin. Yeah.
So our like subatomic particles combine into bigger subatomic particles, combine into atoms, combine into molecules, combine into cells, and these cells interact in these systems that interact to make organs that interact to make a whole person. Right. But then people are not just independent things in themselves. You have communities. You have interpersonal relationships is between two people, but then there's communities, and then there's cities, and then like governments, and then you can span it out to humanity in general.
Yeah.
And so
I think it'd be like the mice that that are actually in charge of the planet that we think that we're experimenting on them, but they're experimenting on us.
Or the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Solid.
I mean, we're just like nerd masturbating here. So
Oh yeah. This needs to be the podcast.
Oh yeah, nerd masturbating.
Nerd masturbating.
That is going to be the title of this.
Yeah, yeah. You can't make a vlog about that though, because that communicates the wrong idea.
But the way forward is not to like segregate into smaller and smaller communities and go like, oh, we are Oklahoma and we do this thing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's no, because we're all American, and so America is all together.
Yeah.
But then if you go, oh, but we're all on the North America, then oh, look at South America down there with their stupid birds. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can still undivide to go, we're all human.
Right.
We can divide that line there, like we're literally all human.
Right.
And instead of having the line between race or country or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm a hippy dippy
communist. I was gonna say that like in its own way, capitalism is sort of only benefiting not only the least amount of people as possible necessarily, but also but also really it's almost like you have to go against all major religions and their teachings to be able to prosper in capitalism.
Exactly.
I totally think that like we have been warned throughout time, you know, that this doesn't work.
And so the more selfish that we are, the more like it's really just the more that we're dividing each other.
Yeah.
And so and then even more with like religion also does that separating.
Yeah.
Too, because it goes, here are the Jews, here are the chosen people, here's everyone else.
Right.
Or here's the Brahma caste, and here's everyone else. Like, it's there's all that junk. Buddhism doesn't really do that because they're also hippy dippy communists.
Definitely.
So, but the more that you embrace this oneness, the more that we can interact better as a human species.
Right.
But I think this is where it does get like sci-fi-ish. That if we don't all die in a fiery hellball in the hypothetical, it's a good thing that we don't have a president, that this would be a thing that we have to consider.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
But if that were to not happen, then we could keep moving as a human species, and then keep moving past that to like all animals, and then all plant, and like all of the earth.
Yeah.
To where we do become a hive mind, and I think that the technology is the catalyst to this evolution.
Definitely.
To where if a leaf falls off a tree in China, you feel it here.
Right.
That we are all one thing, and then it can expand even more so to be like a galaxy moves its arm as one being.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a cool sound effect, too.
Yeah. that was an accident, but yeah. You got anything else to throw onto that?
That's a good Satsang Muji podcast. I totally agree. I honestly like. I've thought about it before, of like you were just saying, the connection between human to human is probably one of the first. Well, human to human, but also like city to city, state to state, country to country is probably a step that needs to be taken before we can even really, before we can even consider our entire planet or environment's mortality.
Oh yeah.
Like if you can't connect with if you can't connect on any level with the person sitting next to you, how do you have a connection to the environmental life that you never even go out and experience in your day-to-day life?
Yeah, and that's something that I don't think, like, it's good that NASA is trying to develop different ways of space exploration, but we are not getting off this planet until unity is the thing, because like we just can't.
Right.
So
it's Father John Misty. It's sad to say, but I think each other is all we've got.
Well, there's some other hypotheses on the whole alien thing.
Well, it's more of like it's more like that's his point at the end of the song is that he goes is that he's like, not really like there's no spaceship out there to save us. He's more like there's no methodology to end the suffering. There's no methodology that's going to be the one factor. Like it's just us living in the now, figuring things out and working together to make it work, know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I mean, and then also what's the problem, the reason why we don't see other aliens, even though the universe is infinite. There's a word with a scientist name on it, whose name I can't think of at the moment. But the Fermi paradox. There it is. The Fermi paradox says that, like, if this is the evolution of life or whatever, and the universe is infinite, where are they?
Right.
Like, why are we the only ones right now?
Right.
The universe is infinite.
Right.
And I have a corollary to the Fermi paradox. I'm sure I'm not the first one who's thought of it.
Right.
But, not only is the universe infinite in space, but the universe is also pretty infinite in time.
Right.
And so, like, we're a tiny blip in the history of the universe. And so how many other intelligent civilizations have sparked and died throughout the span of the universe.
Right.
Just, again, all of space and then all of time. So it's like blip, 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 blip.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Factoring them into, into two different ideas and like how entire existences in general, can flash by in what we consider a millisecond.
Yeah. The universe is really big.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say at the beginning, go, I'm really happy that NASA is like photoshopping a bunch of pictures, and then just spreading them all on the internet and putting them in textbooks. But like, we know what the Earth is, people. It is a flat disk flying upwards in space at about 60 miles per hour to thereby create the idea of gravity. And there's a firmament that is above it that controls the waters of heaven, and that's why the sky's blue. Read a book, idiot.
I'm amazed at how many of those details you are familiar with.
I look up videos that enrage me almost exclusively because I want to know why this person believes the thing that they believe.
Yeah.
Not because I like being open like that. I like knowing that, like, it's like I said with the Westboro thing, like way back when. It's like, if you had just if you leave it at the thing they give you or like the events that they do and stuff, you will never understand them as a person and to what they actually think of why things are the way they are. And in that same aspect, it's that way with people who believe that the Earth is a flat disk flying upwards at 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, but the difference is they have no there's no doctrine that is divinely inspired. Audio podcast, air quotes.
Yeah. Can you see this, everybody? Well, I know that some people quote Genesis because Genesis mentions a firmament between the heavens themselves and the plane of existence we have as Earth. I don't.
Sure.
I'm. It's like. I mean. It's like. I mean. I guess that's what it's saying. Here's my. You want to hear my church argument for that somebody gave me. No. It was a video from the lead singer of Casting Crowns because he's a pastor. He made the point that he said. So there's this quote where God, or not a quote. There's this scripture. And God says, I love you from the east to the west. Now, if you believe that the earth is flat, then you believe that there is an end to how far east and how far west we can go. And therefore, God's love ends right there. And there is a designated area. However, if you believe that the earth is a spherical form, and that God knew that and was communicating that same information, then there is no amount of east you can go until you start going west. But there is an amount you can go north until you start going south. You can always go east and you'll stay east. But if you go north, you'll eventually go south. So if God had said, I love you as far as the north is from the south, that would be calculatable. But if it's the east from the west, that's infinite.
Not necessarily, because the North Pole has like a thing, and the Earth rotates upon an axis. But that's also arbitrary because if the Earth wasn't rotating, there wouldn't be a north or south or an east or west.
Right. But that's my point again. Yeah. That's my point against somebody saying again the Earth is a firmamented disk flying upwards in space at 60 miles an hour. That. Like at the same time, it's like, but you're not being clear either. I'm just saying what I think. Like,
and the east-west thing is like, if the Earth is a globe, then God's love never ends.
Right.
And so that's the point of that.
Right. That's the metaphor.
It's a gigantic dad joke.
Exactly.
It's like, I love you from the east or the west. Oh, but if you keep going east, it's like, I get it, because I'll always love you.
He's like, all right, get out of here, champ. Yeah.
I mean, he is the dad-ist dad. So
right. Have you ever? There's this. Did you know who Wham City Comedy is? Mm-mm. You got to look him up. But there's this. You got to look up Earth Universe, and it's a guy explaining in a slideshow his religion and how people should join it. But he's like, there is no God. Okay, we're not children. All right, there is no God, but there is only energy. And what is energy? I like to think of energy as like an old man with a beard sitting on a cloud and like answering prayers. And you're like, yeah, and it's funny because it's like, I mean, that's pretty true whenever people start talking about like their own spirituality and how like yours makes no sense, but mine is about like crystalline structures and rocks can achieve a form of enlightenment by becoming crystals and stuff like that. And you're like, that's not how that works.
But they are more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. They certainly look pretty.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, in trying to decipher the universe in as objective a way as possible, try not to forget the fact that the universe is really beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you might lose some of the charm in there.
Yeah. It's if you see the universe as chaos, at least understand that like it's the sheer magnitude of chaos in itself is a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. Like even in that respect, you can at least admire how insanely huge it is to be chaotic. Or, in that same way of thinking.
Entropy cannot be reversed.
Right. It's that 311 song. You can't stop entropy, so why even try?
Wait, really?
That's a 311. Those are lyrics 311. I don't remember how that song goes. It's like no, it's a
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could have said any sentence right there, and I probably would have believed you. Yeah. So I don't listen to 311.
Yeah. That's what you're missing out on.
No, okay.
It's a bunch of philosophical discussion in a 90s rap rock song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Whenever I just think of 90s rap rock, I think Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. Linkin Park, all respect to Chester Bennington. Don't get me wrong. The band did not need a DJ.
Well, I mean, that would be all respect to Joseph Hahn.
Oh, is he the?
Yeah, he's the DJ.
He's the DJ.
Yeah. Linkin Park was my favorite band.
Your Linkin Park.
Oh, I know my Linkin Park.
Man. I just always thought that it was like it's a weird touch. I love it, but it's a weird touch to just have the record scratches. But Incubus did it, so and I don't have a problem.
Does it so well though.
So what?
Did it so well?
Oh yeah,
they don't do it anymore.
Oh
obviously.
Oh yeah, but I was just being like I'm gonna be called out for it if I say like if somebody goes, well, what about Incubus? I'll be like, I do love Incubus.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But I mean, old Incubus is so good too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
But that gets into a whole like psychedelic thing, and like we're near the end of this anyway, so it's trying to get a seeing if we can like end a more philosophical thought or end on like a listen to Cure for the Itch by Linkin Park where the DJ actually does some cool stuff with his DJing. But if you listen to the Reanimation version, it's actually better. Actually, you don't even need to listen to Hybrid Theory. If you just listen to Reanimation, that is their best album.
I did own Hybrid Theory on CD. I cannot tell you all the songs that are off of it, but I do have it somewhere sitting on my bookshelf at home.
It's a good album.
Yeah.
But Reanimation is their best album. It's excellent production.
I will look it up.
Right.
I'm always up for giving music chances that I didn't before.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the quality of the production hides the level of cringe that you should be feeling from the lyrics.
Of course. Yeah. It's like My Chemical Romance They're some of their stuff is produced amazingly, and some of their stuff is so cheeseball that you're like, man, this is hard to listen to without being,
especially nowadays.
Nowadays.
But whenever you're a teenager and
you're like I feel that.
The world is just so against you. It's,
yeah. I mean, how did we even make it? You know,
yeah.
we had so many real life problems whenever we were teenagers.
Yeah, like I hate it whenever. I mean, this is all that Linkin Park is saying. It's you make me feel so grr, and whenever you it makes me feel
There's the Pete Holmes joke of every kid is just thinking in their head, Dad, where's my hat, Dad? I love Pete Holmes.
I love Pete Holmes too. I have a hard time listening to this podcast though, because I feel like we're getting into another tangent.
I was gonna say shots fired.
Yeah,
we're gonna start a rivalry now with Pete Holmes.
No, I can't have. I mean, yeah, I can make it weird. That's his whole thing. But like, I feel like Pete Holmes is like somewhat of like a low-key narcissist.
Okay.
Because whenever he has guests on, he'll like let them talk,
right.
But he always has to like reattach the conversation to himself.
Right. Did you watch Desus and Mero, or on Viceland, or listen? They have a podcast called the Bodega Boys, and they had Pete Holmes on, and in his interview he talks about the podcast for a little bit, but it's like a lot of it is a plug. Like a lot of it is like talking about like like this is what we do, and like people have said this about it and stuff like that, and I was like, I mean, promote your stuff while you want. It's like, this show, like Desus and Mero, their whole thing is like get loose. Like we ask questions that aren't about like what's your sex life like? Like they don't care. They're just like, what is it like for you to be an actor? Stuff like that.
Yeah. But I mean, you made it weird is part of the reason as to why I ask about spirituality.
Right.
But I try not to go by way of Pete Holmes and insert my own life story within whatever the guest is talking about.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Right.
And that's something that does bother me about it, but
yeah,
that's kind of why I don't listen to it anymore.
That show Crashing, you ever watch that?
I haven't watched it, but I have heard of it.
We watch it. It's the off season now, but we watch it, and we over at Daniel and I, we watch it, and it is, oh man, so funny. But they make it very real and very sad, and part of it's based on his real life experiences and stuff,
his divorce and all that.
Yeah, but Mike Birbiglia is like an executive producer, and so is Judd Apatow and a lot of these people. Wow. So on like a retrospective of like getting started in comedy, it's like really interesting in that aspect to watch. Like if you don't if you didn't give a shit about Pete Holmes' like life story or whatever, it's at least about like the real problems that comedians have getting started, being funny, writing, just living in general,
I normally end the second podcast by asking about like what you've been watching and what you've been listening to.
Right.
So
we got into it.
That already works. But plug some music that you've been listening to, and then you're like, oh, I've been listening to blank, and it's my jam.
The stuff that I like listening to like all the time for like we were talking about for inspiration or like the like getting pumped up and stuff like that. I've been listening to a band called The Sea and the Sky. And they're like progressive metal, but with
are they flat earthers because it's
with
the
vocals
sky and the firmament,
right? But they might be playing off of that. I have no idea. they're a sick band. You know, they have amazing riffs throughout the whole thing. It's like listening to August Burns Red, but like he's actually singing, and it's progressive. You know,
Cool.
you know, but you know, the thing that I listen to a lot, that I actually kind of like have been working on singing wise, like for me trying to find vocals, like my vocal range, is that I listen to a lot of like female jazz singers, because like I've kind of gotten to the point where I realize that it's pretty schmoozy to like try to make like a crooner sound with my voice, because I just don't have that low range or like that kind of da 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 da. Like I just can't convince myself to do it. But like a lot of those women are in sort of my higher range that I can sing in, and so my girl Stacey Kent. Have you ever heard her stuff? I mean, she only does originals like jazz. I mean standards. Like she only does jazz standards on her albums. Yeah, but like they are amazing. Like she's always on point. It feels like she's comfortable with what she does. Her live performances are nuts. They have it's. I mean. I'm always in the mood for jazz, but lately I've been trying to get on some Stacey Kent.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been on. I'll name like 3 things, I guess. I'll do Knower. Have you ever heard of Knower?
No.
It's like. They're like trained. It's a producer and a vocalist. I think the producer is like mostly a bassist, but he like plays like keys and everything.
Noer, Knower.
KNO.
Oh, okay, Knower. Okay,
yeah. But it's like they're like trained like jazz, classical, I think. But they make electronic, almost dubsteppy,
right.
Like, but it's really like the chords are really jazzy.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then Moses Sumney is someone I've been listening to for a while.
I saw a YouTube video. I think
he makes art,
right?
With like his performance is art,
right?
And that's something that I really sympathize with. That's something that I want to do with my performance.
Right.
And his voice is wonderful, and he sounds like Black Tom York if Tom York had like 20 times more soul.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah. And then who's the other thing? Trevor Lindley just introduced me to Bad Bad Not Good.
You haven't been listening to Bad Bad Not Good?
Yeah,
man, I've been listening to them for like a couple of years. They are amazing.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, I can. I'll plug if you're looking for something new and really experimental. My buddy Max plays mandolin in a band out of Berkeley, in Boston, and it's Baird. I think I'm not really sure how to say it. It's like if you spelled the word beard, but you switch the A and the E.
Oh,
so
okay.
Bae.
Baird.
Yeah, Baird. Yeah, like that's how you'd say it, right?
Yeah.
They have probably the most unique sound I've ever heard.
Huh.
It's like if Punch Brothers and Volcano Choir like got together. It's like
I don't know either of those, but it already sounds great.
Do you know Chris Thiele? He's a mandolin player. Okay, you got a lot. I'll send you some links. But it's like all acoustic instruments, cool. And they make these incredibly complex compositions. But since it's Berkeley, it's a banjo player, mandolin, singer with a guitar, upright bass, 2 saxophones, and a drummer with some mallets.
Yeah.
Like not not
I was expecting
actually
a violin
drumming.
in there.
Yeah. And Max plays violin, but I think he's going to school for mandolin, so I think he's excelling a lot in that.
Of course, Berkeley, one
Yeah.
of the only places where you can go to school for such a
They have
niche instrument.
they have sick programs. Like they have it's like an American roots ensemble program where you create an ensemble and do bluegrass music.
That's
Man,
really cool.
it's sick.
Yeah.
I remember we were doing something at somebody's house or something, and Max brought over the sheet music to Scrapple from My Apple, Charlie Bird, and he was just playing the sax solo on the mandolin.
Oh,
and I was
weird.
like, oh, come on.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is a long one, but I'm happy with all the stuff that we covered. This is exploring life, the universe, and everything, and then some nerdgasms
little
going
bit of
on.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing this to me.
Of course. Yeah.
Plug your stuff.
I am in a band called Packing for Pluto. Look them up on Spotify or the Facebook or packingforplutomusic.com.
Yeah.
We are going to be playing. We're going to be playing Norman Music Fest. We're going to be playing the Paseo Arts Festival, and we have a few more gigs lined up in between there in Tulsa, and we're currently getting a tour together through Texas with our good buddies Magic Munchbox. I said it before, and I'll say it again. They are amazing musicians, and they deserve a lot of credit for what they do because they're just my favorite band I've heard out of OKC in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm Griff Stafford. Just hit me up for on Facebook for anything you might need. You know, I can probably like console you on small items, but I'm better at recording music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. I'm Santiago Ramones.
I'm Griff Stafford.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music, which you can find on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. Bandcamp has my songwritery stuff, and SoundCloud has my composery stuff.
Which one has the rap verses in it?
I have not put those out. Actually, I did do a song in songwriting too with Tomb as he's known, but
Tim.
Yeah. But that's on SoundCloud. I rapped on that one. And did the hook.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it tonight.
I won't tell you what it is, but you can try to look for it.
Right. Right.
No, I have been working on a rap song, but I am not putting that out yet. We'll see when in the future, in the long distant future, when that will see the light of day.
Once I get my dreadlocks in, I'm gonna hit up that SoundCloud rapper phenomenon. You know, really try to hone in on that.
You got to get like 12 face tattoos, though.
I know they'll be fake, but I'll just tell people they're real and then like remove them like stickers at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, and then they'll like shift positions.
Yeah.
Anyways, you can leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. You can comment on my website or on YouTube, and let me know what you think. And if you want to be on the podcast, if you know someone who you think would be good on the podcast, I always end my podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong,